Hello.
Hi, is this Michele Breedlove-Sell?
This is indeed.
Hi, Michele. How are you? You are live on the 22Q Charity Ironman podcast. This is Johnny Sepp, along with Brandon Gerson and Kevin Wright.
Hello, gentlemen. How's it going this evening? Are you guys still awake?
We're still awake. We've got 3 hours to go. We're at hour 47. We're actually entering the 48th hour, if my math is right. Right, Kevin?
Yes, sir.
So
Kevin's a little slow on the uptake. It's totally acceptable.
I'm sorry. At the same time right now, I'm actually FaceTiming my 2-month-old son who's upstairs, and I was a little distracted. I apologize.
No problem, Kevin.
Fair enough.
Michele, you've been...
First, can I say something first?
You can say whatever you like.
Thank you, guys. From the bottom of my heart, an incredibly creative idea. I know that Joe fellow was critical to making this all happen. The 22Q International Foundation is an amazing organization. It's been around long since before the organization that I worked for, and this was a wildly creative idea, and I cannot tell you how much I personally appreciate it, and I thank you on behalf of the entire 22Q community.
Oh, no problem. Absolutely. Anytime you guys need us, just give us a call. Michele, you've been in and out of our chat room throughout the entire show. Do you have any interesting commentary as far as the community that you were exposed to over the course of the last few days?
Well, I will say, I think it was yesterday morning, I woke up in a campground in the middle of nowhere, Southern Illinois, and turned on the podcast, and you guys had just started interviewing I don't want to offend anybody, but the guy who had an issue with somebody on Twitter, and you know what I'm talking about?
Sounds like almost all of our guests.
Yeah.
Go on.
A little more info, we'll nail it down.
It was something about he'd gotten into some sort of a kerfuffle, maybe on Twitter, with somebody who was a bodyguard.
Oh, Steve the bodyguard, yes, and his stalker. We interviewed a gentleman, and then we interviewed his stalker.
The bodyguard and his stalker.
Yes.
Stellar entertainment, gentlemen. Stellar entertainment.
That's what we do. Michele, we're doing 50 hours, but that's nothing compared to what you're doing. You're like, how many days into the 22Q bus tour?
This would be day 19.
19 days on a bus. Could you imagine, Brandon?
Yeah.
Tell us what that's all about.
The worst part is that usually when you're on a tour bus, people want your autograph, but I can't say that actually happens. So it's a little bit anticlimactic when I step off the bus. I was kind of hoping for a Chicago Bulls kind of entrance every time we got somewhere, and maybe have the entrance music for the Chicago Bulls playing and fog pouring off the bus, but that's not quite how it works out. You're usually hot and sweaty and tired, and you can't get gas or stop at a rest stop or empty the septic tank on the bus without somebody going, "Hey, what's 22Q?"
Tell us about the bus, what the tour, what it is and what it symbolizes, and where you still have to go.
Well, the bus was born out of, I spent about 2 years running around the country for the Dempster Foundation, going to support groups, going to the conferences, and going to the children's hospitals, meeting the community that we were aiming to serve. Because when we started Ryan's Foundation, the ink was actually dry on the organization before Riley was born, and it was originally going to be a formalization of Ryan's charitable giving. He's very charitable. He gives a lot to a lot of different organizations, and I thought, well, let's make it formal. I'm a grown-up now. Let's do this the right way. After that happened, about 2 months after that happened, Riley was born, and so we took a serious, hard right turn into having a dedicated cause to get behind, which is obviously 22Q, because we're Philly. So I spent the better part of 2 years running around the country, and the common theme from all the parents was nobody knows what this is. The doctors don't know. They've never diagnosed our kids. The teachers don't understand how to teach our children. The pediatricians don't know. The nurses don't know. Our kids don't get diagnosed enough. And I come from a strong mother, and she was a realist, and it occurred to me that the reality is that they're absolutely right. Nobody knows what the syndrome is, and if we keep all talking amongst ourselves about how they don't know what it is, and we don't actually do something about it, and we don't really hold the families and the people that do know what 22Q is accountable to go out and do something about it where they live, will always be this unknown rare syndrome. So I started encouraging families around the country to do their own thing. I don't care if you're going to get 10 families together at a picnic in a public park and wear the same T-shirts and hope that somebody asks you, what 22Q is, or you're going to do a huge fundraiser with the company that you work for. You need to do something, or post 10 times a day on your Facebook page about 22Q and hope that the 400 friends you have all know what it is. All the parents kind of a lot of parents got behind it, and in July of last year, there were 12 different events over a 3-week period. I realized really quickly that I was going to spend an inordinate amount of money on hotels and airplanes and rental cars. Called Ryan and said, I have this really wacky idea. I'd like to rent an RV for 3 weeks and drive to all these locations. Let's wrap it with some facts about 22Q and a little bit of information about the organization so that we're driving awareness 24 hours a day while I'm on this 3-week run. We did it. We learned a lot from the first year. First year it looked a little bit like a Ryan Dempster campaign. Nobody really asked us about the campaign, but they did ask us if we had signed baseballs on board. And so this year we took a little bit of a vague strategy. We wrapped it to look somewhat like the Mystery Machine from Scooby-Doo. We can't stop anywhere without, it says the 22Q Mystery Tour. Tweet us if you see us at Ryan Dempster SBN, and it says www.22qbus.com. So it's moderately vague, but extraordinarily cool, and people are inclined to either take pictures of it or at the very least go to the website. And so inevitably they learn something about 22Q. And if they don't go to the website and just rather post a picture, typically people look at that picture and go, what the hell is that bus? And they check it out. And so that was the impetus behind the bus, was to almost trick people into being aware of this thing that typically people don't care about unless they're affected by it. So I don't necessarily need everybody on the planet to care. I need everybody on the planet to know. Our job is to drive awareness, and so that's how we creatively decided to do it, and it's been wildly successful.
Wow.
That was a very long answer. So
No, that's quite all right. Thanks for that great explanation. I really appreciate it. Michele, when I was putting together all the stuff for this, I got all kinds of bios on people. I got them all from 2 sentences to 39 pages. But when I got yours, you actually have a really, I read it a few times, but mind you, this was prior to 45 hours of radio. You have a really interesting story, and I'm wondering if you'd be willing to share that with us.
Sure. The kind of the profound moment of my life and why I feel like I should do this job forever.
Yes.
So I was born in 1975. I was born missing a thumb on my left hand. I have severe scoliosis and some other congenital anomalies. I have a few missing organs that are non-vital to living and breathing, fortunately, but that have created a whole host of health issues for the majority of my life. When I was about 13 years old, I was at school wearing a back brace, looking awkward, as every 13-year-old girl does, and a little boy grabbed my back brace, shook me in the hall, and called me a four-fingered freak in front of everybody. And of course, it was like one of those bad teenage movies where everybody in the hall starts laughing, and I start sobbing and go to the counselor's office, and I call my mother, and I sobbed to her about how Jerry just made fun of me and everybody was laughing, and my mom said, Michele, stop crying. Okay. And she said, no, really, I need you to listen to me like you've never listened to anybody before. I said, okay. She said, I have a question to ask you. All right. And she said, when you woke up this morning, did you forget you were born without a thumb? I said, no. She said, okay, I'll see you after class. Is a seemingly harsh answer, and when I got home, she asked me how my day was, and I gave her the obligatory sign. She said, did you talk to the counselor? And I said, yes. And she said, what did the counselor say? And I said, the counselor said that I was special because I was born without a thumb, and I had to wear a back brace. And my mom very earnestly looked at me and said, Michele, you are not special because you were born without a thumb and because you wear a back brace. In this house, we earn the distinction of being special. And if you intend to be that, I have every expectation that you will indeed go earn that with your actions. But nobody's going to afford you special treatment because you popped out without a thumb. And so I've spent the better part of my life kind of living by that. It was hard to tie my shoes. I can only hitchhike one way. I can't play pinochle, but it's not the end of the world. you know, it is what it is. And quite frankly, it's given me an incredibly unique perspective on life. And I have the opportunity to go do right by a bunch of different little kids that I want to inspire to be special. Not to say they're special because they're different, but rather inspire them to be special people. And so that's kind of my story, and I'm sticking to it.
That's an awesome story, Michele. Really, truly inspiring.
My mom's a stellar woman.
She absolutely is.
Harsh but stellar. You guys would love her. She'd fit right in. She played poker online. She was too scared to get on and play with you guys. She got all intimidated. I told her about it yesterday.
Why?
Said, oh, no, I can't do that.
I would have staked her.
Because she said, my name's Breedlove. They'll know I'm related. They'll have high expectations. I can't hide like my last name is Smith or Johnson.
I mean, I don't know if you've been on our poker software, but it's not like we have the most elaborate tracking system in the world here. She could have flew under the radar just fine.
She's 62, you guys. She didn't realize she didn't have to put in her real name.
Yeah.
She could put in a different, yeah.
She could put in anything. What's coming up for you guys at the Dempster Foundation? I know you got the bus tours in full swing right now. Is there anything on the horizon?
Well, we've got the bus tour in full swing. We head back to Dallas this week for a short stint back home for a day or two. Then we're going to a wine tasting out in Lincoln, Nebraska, and we'll be back up north in Columbus, Ohio for a conference at Nationwide Children's Hospital that's happening up there on September 22nd. We've got a day at the park at Ranger Stadium here in Arlington for 22Q families on September 14th. It's right around the corner. And then we're taking the bus to my hometown, Stillwater, Oklahoma, where the Oklahoma State Cowboys will be celebrating homecoming. And we're in the process of getting a fundraiser together with the local children's museum there so that we can split the proceeds and kind of bank off of what is our benchmark weekend of the year in the town that I grew up in. We'll probably do some fundraising in the Dallas area because we don't know if Ryan is going to stay with the Rangers or not. We don't know what the end of the season will hold, or when the end of the season rolls around. We don't know what that will hold for him. I certainly hope he stays down here in Dallas. It would be great. But we'd like to leave a mark here in Dallas, other than the bus, of course, and even if it is a short period of time that he's here. And, of course, we'll do our annual fundraiser that we do every year, which you guys have got to come to. We do a casino night every year in Chicago, and the Chicago Cubs for the last 3 years, although I don't know how this is all going to play out in the future, but the Chicago Cubs have actually been the dealers for the craps table, for the poker table, for the all of the gaming in the room, and it's been really, really spectacularly fun every year.
So wait, we're going to Chicago? Yes.
If we do, I'm assuming that we will continue the casino night legacy there in Chicago every year, and I think that you guys should absolutely come out and join us. I can't imagine why not after this.
And Michele, you had mentioned before in the chat earlier today something about Ryan looking into maybe doing some sort of poker tournament, and obviously, if we have the ability, we'd love to be part of that. What's your plans? Any plans for that in the future?
We don't have definite plans. It's something that we've thrown around, and we, quite frankly, we threw it around for a couple of years, actually, before the foundation even came to fruition. Just in, wouldn't it be great to go out to Vegas in the off season and take some of the guys that really enjoy to gamble and do something with the, with a portion of the proceeds, do some good with a portion of the proceeds. So we've toyed with the idea, but the reality is that this may be the perfect storm of acquaintances and networking opportunity, because you guys probably have a far greater idea of how to set up something like that. So maybe we should collaborate here after you guys have gotten some rest and throw some ideas around and see what the interest level is.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sorry, Michele. I'm fading. I'm sure.
I can't. You guys want me to take over? Why don't you guys take a nap? I'm going to take over the show.
How familiar are you with Dusty Leatherass Schmidt? Do you know his story and his history? You can interview him if you like.
Hey, Michele, I do have to tell you, the great lady in my life, my mother, actually has been listening all along, and I just had to pass along words that she thinks of your mother as a great lady and obviously raised you correctly, and just a great story that you gave us.
Oh, thanks, guys. Thanks. I will pass that message along, and I'm sure my mother will send back her greatest thanks to her, and would probably say, she should call me sometime, and I'll fill her in on the not so great parts about my daughter.
Brandon, are you with us?
Absolutely. I've been listening the whole time. I'm excited about getting some sort of charity poker tournament set up here in Vegas. That's what I'm sitting here thinking about.
Hey, Brandon.
Hi.
Has anybody ever told you sound like Dave Attell?
No, actually, I've never heard that before.
You sound just like him. Just like him.
Really?
Sorry to get off topic, but yeah.
Oh, no, not at all. Not at all.
So, it's the poker tournament.
Yes.
The bottom line on that is I have to wait until Ryan's done with the season. I really make a genuine effort to let that guy pitch and do his job, because the longer he's in baseball, the better it is for 22Q. It's the reality of the world that I live in today. So, the bus was created as an extension of Ryan so that we wouldn't have to utilize him during the season as much as some players have to get utilized by their organizations who really, really want the guy to focus on pitching. So as soon as the season is over, I have no doubt, and obviously before that we'll sit around and over dinner, but I'll throw it out. And I have to tell you, all I really need to do is talk to Ryan's little brother. He's a huge poker player, and they do a tournament every year up in British Columbia. They do a golf tournament, and his family has thrown that. I can't imagine why his family wouldn't be interested in getting behind a tournament in Vegas in the off season, because they do it anyway. So it's something we can certainly think about, and I will absolutely run it by Ryan. And I can't imagine why it wouldn't be a good idea. And with you guys' help, I think we'd do a really great job.
I definitely
is any indication.
I definitely have the connections down here with various poker rooms in Las Vegas to make that happen.
I don't know if you know this or not, but Michelle, Brandon is basically the unofficial mayor of Las Vegas. He owns that town.
Oh, really?
I wouldn't go that far, but I have a lot of
close friends. Thanks for your time, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, ma'am. I have a lot of close friends that run various poker rooms or have connections in them, and definitely we can make it happen. So after the season, in fact, after Ryan wins his first World Series.
Amen.
Please, either through our site or through Joe, contact me, get in touch with me, and we'll start the process, and it'll be great.
I would love to do that, Brandon. I appreciate the offer, and we'll absolutely take you up on it, 100%.
Awesome. And it's funny. Yes, a good friend of mine, Bobby Griffin, who would probably be the first person I call, and he runs the poker room at a casino in Las Vegas called the Palms Poker Room, and I'm sure you're familiar with the name Palms, and he's someone that would definitely be willing to help us, and there are others as well. So that part of it, I'm definitely on it. You just let me know what you have in mind, and I have no problem doing the legwork, making the phone calls, and making it a reality. I think it'd be great.
Yeah, and I certainly would not push it all off on you. Absolutely, we'll collaborate. We'll make it happen together. But I think it's a great idea, and I think it'd be a heck of a lot of fun. I mean, that's, the reason, I'm one of the luckiest kids on the planet, because I actually get to kind of do what I daydreamed about as a kid, but I get to do it in creative ways. This bus is not the traditional charity fundraising campaign, and we're really trying to stay away from being extraordinarily traditional, because quite frankly there are a bajillion organizations out there trying to raise money and raise awareness of various causes in the traditional way, and they're all screaming for the spotlight, and I don't want to have to scream that loud. I want people to want to be involved because we do cool stuff. So we're definitely all for it.
And the other thing I've realized just after being on the air for 50-something hours, whether it's an official role or unofficial role, I think Johnny really should, again, whether officially or unofficially, be the spokesperson, at least in the poker world, for 22Q, because the way he spoke and conducted the interviews and got the information out, that was just amazing. That the interview with Donna was awesome. I don't know if you
I
listened.
missed the interview with Donna.
Yeah.
I
Well-
heard the interview with Sheila Kim, and though.
You didn't hear my.
Sorry, I missed it.
I had an on-air anxiety attack.
One of our hardcore listeners in Sweden is demanding that the show's archives be immediately placed, all 50 hours, as soon as we're done with the 50 hours. So if Johnny wants to do that, you'll be able to very soon listen to that interview, and, as well as make a kid in Sweden who may or may not have a podcast addiction very, very, very happy. But either way, whenever it's up, listen to that interview, and it just, obviously there are a lot of different types of personalities on here and great interviews. I don't think we had a bad interview at all. There's not one
that I
just
heard.
yeah, but the one with Donna was amazing, and especially considering Johnny went on and spoke afterwards with a mindset expert who he admitted that beforehand he was petrified of interviewing Donna, and it was a great interview, and it was something I know when everyone from the 22Q Foundation listens to, they're just going to be so impressed
Listen,
by
guys,
it. They're going to love it.
I took Donna with me for the first year everywhere I went. She was an incredible translator. Anybody who can hold their own in an interview on a topic that is as arduous as 22Q with Donna.
Well, here's the thing, Michelle.
A ton of praise, Johnny.
I had an on-air anxiety attack 15 minutes before the interview. Like I said earlier, I got tons of packets of information, and hers was just. I'm going to tell you honestly, it was diesel. It was 40 pages.
Yeah.
I think though what set you over the edge was finding out she won an award that only 2 people have ever been given in their lifetime.
No, what set me over the edge was when I got her name, it didn't have just one set of letters at the end of it. It had 2 sets of letters at the end of it. I didn't know what either set of letters meant. I had to Google to figure out. And then I'm talking, so I figure out that she's like a scientist of some sorts, and 3/4 of the way through the first paragraph of her bio, I realized that I'm not reading the rest of this bio because I don't understand it, and B, she's immensely more intelligent than me, and I don't have a problem interviewing anybody. Throughout this podcast, we probably had, I don't know, 30 of the more famous people in our industry, and nobody bothered me. That one, I was just like, ooh, and then 5 seconds into the conversation, I just realized she was just a cool lady, so it was no big deal.
It was pretty amusing how you gave her 4 different ways that you offered to address her. And she's like, Donna's just fine.
That's Dr. Donna.
Yes. Should I call you? Like you're adding last names with the abbreviations, and she's just like, just call me Donna.
And I was like, oh, all right. And then she asked what she could call me, and I said, Mr. Sepp.
Oh, good.
I love it.
I love it. Yeah, Donna's she's an invaluable resource for the 22Q community and has been for a very long time. And we all too owe her a great debt of gratitude, no doubt about it. But like I said, anybody who can hold their own in an interview with Donna has got my respect, because she's one smart cookie.
She was even as kind as to let one of our or tell one of our listeners, her name on our forums is Beebs, who is who's studying and wants to be in that field. And Donna actually said on air, have her call me, and I'll take the time to talk with her and help her in any way that's possible. And this is, of course, someone Donna doesn't know, and especially someone with the accolades that Donna has. I'm sure she's quite busy in her life, and she just said that was amazing to me, that she told this 19-year-old or 20-year-old college student, just give me a call and I'll take the time to talk to you and give you some advice on the best ways to expand your horizons and reach your goals in terms of what you want to do in this field. And that was amazing, guys. I mean, that was amazing, guys. I know you both will have to agree.
Absolutely,
that was surprising to me.
No
Beebs is a completely huge Donna fan. If you don't know, Beebs has been with us for a while for all of our shows. She's a big fan of ours, but I didn't even realize how big of a fan of genetics was, and
I didn't know until today that was even her
desired goal.
Yeah.
She's a good kid and she's a smart kid. I just hope that in the next time around, much like Steve the Bodyguard that you were referencing earlier that I don't have Donna on one line and Beebs on the other line trying to work that issue out. But she's a good kid, so I think everything will work out fine.
And even more so, these forums, as I'm sure you can tell from the time you spent, are predominantly, they're dominated by males predominantly. And Beebs is someone that came and she's earned her keep. No one can. I don't care what anyone says. She's paid her dues and she's earned her keep. And she has an amazing persona and outlook to be able to hang with a bunch of it's really an all boys club more or less. So anyhow, that was really touching, and as well as when
you guys may have recruited somebody to our cause.
Absolutely.
Just by talking about it. That's a huge win beyond the money. There's actually somebody out there now who's actually might consider is going into that field and knows something about this particular syndrome out of the thousands of syndromes. That's a huge win for us.
And the other thing, and again, I'm probably going to get a little emotional here, and I don't care. It doesn't matter. To me, the most touching thing out of all this was when Joe had his little girl on and was talking with her. Yeah. And just, it's one thing for us to sit here for, all these hours and talk about it, but then when you hear the voice and actually have a emotional attachment to what you're doing and talking about, it really puts it in perspective. And at that point, that to me, I guess that was the most touching. I don't know. I'm at a loss for words, but it was very meaningful for me to hear her, and even more so, her sister that came on to thank us for what we were doing for her, and it was very, very touching.
Well, make sure you check out the videos that Michele is doing for On the Bus, because both Samantha and Julia did one together. Anyone who didn't see it. Yeah, they did.
This one, but that's when you guys all have to do videos and send them to me, by the way. And anybody who's listening to this needs to do that as well. You can shoot a quick video with your phone, tell us who you are, where you're from, and that you're on the bus for kids with 22Q. And email it to 22qbus@gmail.com. With the likes of Cedric the Entertainer, Mike Wolf from American Pickers, Gary Sinise did one for us, and then we have a little stackling of celebrities, but more importantly, we have families from all over the world who have already sent the videos in, and it's in the hopes of making it go viral. And if Mary Johnson sends in a video and her friends see it and they go, "What's 22Q?" and they Google it, well, job done. Now they know what 22Q is.
Michele, I really need to ask, have you ever done anything like this on radio before or hosted anything? Because it really sounds like you could just take this show over and carry us through. I think we missed our calling, and we should have had you on the first day, because I think you definitely could have given us a couple of sleep breaks and definitely ran this show for us.
Hey, man, I'm in for the sleep break segment of the show next time you guys do it. I'm all in for it. But no, I haven't ever done anything like it. I just really enjoy stage, gentlemen.
You're a natural.
Definitely a natural.
All right, Michele, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it. We only got one more guest left, and then that's it for us. We're going to check out in about 2.5 hours when we complete the full 50. Thank you so much for all your time. We really appreciate you.
Guys, no, thank you. I gave you a modicum of my time. Thank you for all of your time. And will you guys all send me an email so that I have your contact information and we can talk more about poker tournament?
Of course.
Donna, can I do it in about a day or so after I sleep?
You can have a month to do it. You guys take all the time you need. Just whenever.
You know what's the funniest thing? Michele, I have a poker tournament.
I just called you Donna, so I think that should tell you right there that I should not be sending you emails, because who knows where I'm going to send it to. I'm sorry, I said, Donna, can I send it to you in a day or so? I'm sorry, Michele, in a day or so when I get some rest.
You can take all the time you need.
All right, Michele, thank you so much.
Thank you guys very much. Hang in there, and we'll talk soon.
All righty. Thank you. All right, boys. 1 to go.
2.5 hours left. 2.5 hours left.
Is that